Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Ticks. We are going to rip this puppy apart today. I mean, take it down to its bare bones. This is the F6 from TenFifteen, and it's available from Banggood. Why would you want to buy a broken watch? You won't, and you won't get a broken watch. I just happened to have one that after I was setting it up, something went wrong with the battery and it died. And that happens sometimes, but all in all, this is a really good quality watch. In fact, if it were working and I was using it daily, I think it might be a daily driver. Oh, by the way, you can get this from Banggood with the show notes down below. Under $100. We'll have a coupon for you. And please, on this one, if you buy it, use our link. Especially since they're so good about it. It came in busted, but they're supporting us anyway with this one. So if you like this one, even if you want a different watch, try using our link, go into Banggood, and then search around for what you want from there. So we can give them some credit for sending this one out. They didn't know it was broken. They're a vendor, you know, and they get theirs from their wholesalers. This is not, like I said, typical. It's a rare occurrence, and we want to stand behind our companies that try to help us out and help them out as well. Okay, given the fact that it's not working, we are going to tie in here and take it apart. Couple of things I wanted to point out. If you look at an earlier unboxing I did on this one, and we knew it was broken there, so I opened it up and showed you a little bit, and many of you said, Mr. Ticks, rip the heck out of it, take it all the way down. It's all right, we will do that one day. Today's that day, but I want to show you this. When I put it back together, what I didn't notice was something wasn't properly aligned and it pushed a little bit harder than it should. Look at the screen, if I can get the reflection here. You see the ripples in the screens, the pressing from the components underneath? Word of warning, if you take a watch apart, make sure you get it aligned properly and everything just goes back smoothly. Don't align it and say, oh, there's a little bit of gap, but I'll tighten it down with the screws. Yeah. That's what I did. So even if it worked right now, I think it would have a very funky screen. So just a little word of warning. You can see it when I get it in the reflection of the light there. Let's begin, shall we? The first thing, obviously, is there's a cover on the SIM card. Now, for all watches, this is the teardown representative in a sense of all watches. You look carefully at the cover, or right around the edge here. They want to be water resistant as best as possible. So there oftentimes may be a little rubber gasket or a groove where there should be one, something to help when it snaps in place to keep water from slipping, for example, under that little lip right there, and getting in the watch. And we're also talking your sweat. So this is a vulnerable area on all of these watches. If you're not going to use the SIM that often at all, I would suggest get a piece of electrical tape and just tape over the darn thing in place so that there's no possible seepage. That's probably that, and the bands, depending on if they're the removable or non-removable kind, are the most likely places you could get water intrusion in your watch. Speakers usually have some protection inside behind there. They know they got holes there, but this one's a tough one, especially since users can take it out, put it back like that and think it's snapped in, and it's not. Yeah, not a good place. All right, I'm going to use a screwdriver and take the 4 screws off the back. Okay, screws are out, and here's what I'm talking about. Notice how it doesn't like fit nicely and snap right into space there. I had pushed it too hard and caused that rippling on the front. We've been in here before. We noticed that the speaker is held in with wires that are soldered in place. We also found that there's no other screws holding the main section of the watch in here, that we could easily lift it up either with a little plastic screw tool or with your thumbnail probably, and get the main part out. We also found there's 2 components. This thing, which is the little vibration, the haptic feedback little engine, and this thing, what the heck is that? Well, it's in there too. We pop that over and that over so that they can move out of the way. You seeing that now? Okay. And the battery. Now, here's the connector. When we first took it apart, it was connected right there on that little connector that you push down on. You can see the pins on it, and the pins here match. You have to get that right in place and snapped in. If you're trying to fix a watch that's in a boot loop, which is where it just keeps rebooting on itself, or it won't turn on, but you think the battery's fully charged, or you're going to flash firmware, you may want to come in here and try, before you do all of that stuff, to disconnect the battery, and then for a minute, and then reconnect it again and try and see if it'll work, see if it'll charge up, see if it will boot up without getting into boot loop, all those things. Your first test is to try and just disconnect the battery and start it back up again. The good watches have a connection like this, so you can do that. The not so good watches are soldered in permanently for the battery like this, and then you got a real problem. This one's okay, you got that going for it. Now we get a little bit deeper. We've got this strap, which is holding, it looks like, the optical sensor for your heart rate, as well as the SIM card. All of these electronics are here, and the power coming over to here. They all come into this one ribbon cable that disappears down under here. Now, we haven't gone any further than this, so we're going to get into what we call destructive testing or teardown here in a moment, if I haven't already, where what we're going to do is going to be irretrievable. You don't want to go further than this if you're thinking of saving your watch, but we're not at this point. We know it's not working well, so we're going to take it apart. This is a button, that's a button. We talked in the other video that we've got, I'll use my little tool. We've got snap-on connectors in here. When you see a flat plate like that, oh no! That's what I get for buying cheap tools, huh? All right, I'm going to go with metal. We don't have the battery connected anymore, so I'm going to use metal and lift this up. That's the line that's coming over here. I'm going to lift this one up. There we go. Aha! Look, the battery just popped out. That's good. Okay. It was just sitting in there. What's it say we've got? 530 milliamp hour battery in here. That's about how big this thing is. Okay. And that was just sitting there. Okay. So we're in the process of taking as many of these little connectors off as we can. Here's another one. Lift that up. That's probably for the camera module. Are these things interchangeable? Well, maybe, but I mean, the ribbon cabling and all the other stuff is so tricky that you probably can't take a button from one watch to another unless they're the identical watch. Okay, we've done that. Let's also, any other cables? Yeah, there's something over here. Let's lift that. Wow, that one's even taped down. You see that piece of electrical tape in there? There, that got this section up, which probably feeds the screen. That's my guess. Okay, we also have these screws here, 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 and here around this whole case. So I'm going to loosen those for you right now. Okay, I was able to remove that one completely right there. This one's kind of loose but hanging. That one's out. That one's out. Got them down here somewhere. And we're ready to go deeper. Now, you see here is an antenna connection, and here's another one. These are the antennas that go into the band. So we are going to use a little screwdriver now and pop these off of their connection, like so. And like so. You see the motherboard is already flipping around down here, but we want to get the connectors off. There's usually 3, so I have one there, one there. All right, I'm not sure what's happening. Okay, but look at this now. That whole board is ready to lift up. Yeah, up to right here. Oh, it's hooked on there. And there's one wire. Okay, we got it off of that. It was just twisted. So here is the whole control circuitry piece. all held in with those screws and the way that the different connectors were on here. We'll come back and look at that in more detail in a minute. In the meantime, what have we got left? We've got the camera module that just fell out. That's the little standardized camera module. They don't build these things themselves. They just buy them off the shelf and slap them in. 5 megapixel up interpolated to 8 is the highest resolution. Then you typically have like a, what is it, a 3 megapixel that up interpolates to 5. And then like a really small 1.3 that will be your VGA type of pictures. Okay, that's the camera module. We're playing with the buttons over here, and we've got another circuit board laying here that's got all the strapping that goes into the screen. And that is a board very much on the bottom. This one, without ripping anything, can I get it to come loose? Looks like it just slides in there, but you know, I'm not going to mess with it right now. That's for this button here. One try, let's see. Okay, it's actually pulling this whole round piece up. There we go, that we can get out. Okay, that came with the button sensor there. There's a little switch in that the button pushes against. That one's already gone with the other board, it looks like. And some more connectors. Oh no, there it is. Okay, the two of them were together as buttons that come to that little connector that was hooked onto the main board. Now we've got this and the screen. And this is where it gets to the hardest part, is the screen down there. I haven't found on these a way to get the screen off without destroying it, which is sad. How does it look now? Oh, it looks dirty. Hang on. Get my fancy microfiber shirt to clean it. And yeah, I'm still seeing some ripples in here, but they're not as intense as they were before. Okay, so we'll come back to this because at this point I think I would have to rip them out. What I want to talk about next are the bands and the antennas in here and the lack of waterproofness. The original design on these has the bands coming right up and the wires running through a hole. Can you see that? That's right there, and oftentimes right there if there's two of them. And that's the point of entry for water often, is all around in through there on both sides. There's some new redesigns happening in the bands where the band wire comes up this little section and then goes through the tube. It makes these much more flexible, almost looks like they could be removed. This is the traditional original design on these bands that are relatively stiff. As you can see, they don't give much. And you don't want to bend them too terribly much or you'll start to break the delicate antennas inside here. And what do we mean by delicate antennas? Well, let's see if we can unglue a section here. Here we go. And show you the antenna. Okay, that's the cover. And that funny pattern is an antenna. Now, I don't know right now if it's Wi-Fi or cellular, Bluetooth, or what are we missing? The other one, Wi-Fi, cellular, Bluetooth, GPS. Don't think it's GPS. But anyway, there's the antenna. Oh, goes to a wire. The wire fits through the hole. And now you got the little antenna out completely. This is an easy one to take apart. A lot of them, you don't even see the cutout that's integrated in there. Feasibly, you could replace the bands if you got the right thing, if you can get the antenna out like that. What's the other one look like? Different, because it's a whole different radio that it supports. And we got so many of these different radios going on in here. Okay, there we go. And now peel off the antenna on this one. Look at that puppy. Totally different, huh? Come back here. Yeah. Those are your antennas, folks. Now you don't have to destroy your watch. Just leave it to Mr. Dix, right? Okay. And I think we could probably pull that one through the hole as well. You see how easy, in a sense, it is to get them out through the hole, which tells you that they're not siliconed in place. There's nothing here keeping it waterproof. So even just a couple of drops of moisture gets in here, the moisture alone will corrode the electronics. So when we tell you that an Android watch is not waterproof, but splash proof or splash resistant, it means you could probably get a little bit of water on it, but if you dunk it under water, guaranteed you're probably going to have a problem. Okay. Doggone, where do we go from here? Let's play with the bands. Can we get the band off? Oh yeah, that was part of the screw. That's why we got those screws in here. Well, the other one has both screws out, so I'm going to pull it out. There you go. There's the actual band. Yeah, with the hole that came in for the antenna. And get the screw out of this one, and then we'll take that band off. Okay, it's out now, and so is the band. And now we're just down to the carcass itself, a couple of buttons. Oh, okay, it just fell right out. Need an extra button, guys? That one came right out. That one hasn't yet. There's probably, is there a little protector on there, holder or something? Not sure. Looks like it is. There might be. Yeah. There's a little lock washer. You see it right down there from the other one? A little brighter. Right in that corner down there. Now we're down to the screen. The only thing that's left, we've got these different connectors for, one would be for the screen to give it its pixels, right, to show you the image. And the other is going to be for the touch sensitivity. That's that clear layer between the glass and the picture or the screen itself. And I'm just going to lift on this at this point, see if we can peel it up. Wow, it's tight. I don't see a way to remove the glass from the front. Whoa. Well, it's peeling a little bit. See there? Okay. Get one good hold on it. Okay, I just got it to give way from that thing. It was kind of stuck on there. There's the actual screen. Of course, I've destroyed it now with the crease and everything in here. It's not sticky there, but it was very sticky right up into here. That is your LCD or AMOLED. That's the basic display unit. That's what it looks like. There's some QR codes and numbers. I don't know if that's helpful to anybody, but you normally don't see this. And what do we have left? It looks like we've got the digitizer, the finger sensor unit still in here. And no more. Actually, it looks like a connector, doesn't it? I think I just disconnected the ribbon cable from the actual, or I ripped it off, one or the other. But that's pretty much it inside of here. If I get this part here, which is, I think, the actual digitizer surface itself glued on the inside of the glass. Yeah, I'm making a real mess now. Okay, let me work on getting that out. Okay, I've partially dismembered it, but what I wanted to point out was in the process of ripping it out, notice how it tears along straight lines, like a grid would do for sensing where you're touching. So there's a whole grid pattern going on in the touch-sensitive array that floats translucently, see, you can see through it, translucently on top of the screen, which is reflective when it's not lit up behind there. Yeah? You getting an idea of how all this works? All right, the last thing, well, we have the case, but I can't do much with that, but there is the glass. You ever wondered about this stuff? Will it scratch? Now, before we tear into this one, which I definitely want to do, check that screen, we wanted to talk a little bit more about this. And I'm just going to pop this thing out there. The speaker was soldered there and soldered there, making it so you couldn't take the back off. That I don't like on the design. Then you got this and this. Speaker, microphone, I bet that's the microphone. We said that was the haptic vibration engine in there that gives you the little and the vibrate to wake you up in the morning. And this is the top piece, right? That has your nano SIM and your heart rate diode and your charging ports. And it looks like it might be a connector. Yep, sure enough, there it pops off as well, along with a little... No, that came from the screen when we were ripping it out. And then you've got this metal cover over some circuitry underneath here. Can we pop this out? Wow, not too easily. It looks like it's either soldered in there. Oh, there's one on this side too, or in there really, really tight. There's some numbers and information on that side as well. So we've got a two-sided circuit board with lots of little chips on it. I presume the processor and the radios are underneath these things. Let me see if I can get them off. Well, they're not made to be casually removed, that's for sure. There, I got that part at least lifted up, and that's what we have on this side. And on the other side, there they are. The big processors, the actual memory, I'm sure, and the CPU. The entire city is pinned in on this side. There's the chip information, right? And again, this one has that always on screen and all the circuitry and everything necessary to make that happen. So there's your motherboard. We've got that. And now finally, I'm going to clear this up and we're going to play with that screen. Well, first of all, it's with deep respect I do what I'm about to do to this watch. It pains me, actually. I hope it doesn't pain it too much. Once again, we're looking at the F6, and I really like the design. Look at that smooth bezel, black all the way around. And the glass on this one literally comes up a little bit above the bezel. It's so unusual. The bezel isn't coming over it. The glass itself comes right to the edge. And when you look through here, now you're seeing different layers of electronics, right? Up at the top where it's clear glass, that's everything is gone. Then you've got this kind of a clear layer that you're seeing right there, a gummy, sticky layer. That's probably just adhesive holding this next layer on, which will be your touch-sensitive area, the capacitive sensor for making your touches known. Then there's this reflective, like an aluminum layer, it looks like, that's dark on this side. It actually makes it clearer to see through. I don't know if you can tell that, but it's easier and clearer to see through here than it is through there. And that's reflective on this side, but transparent on that side. And you know, the watches that we've seen, there's a few of them out there, the Bakey i3, is it, and the Thor Pro, that are reflective on the front side. So I think they either put it in backwards, or they got the reflective on both sides, because in the sunlight, when you shine a bright light on it, it will reflect back, and you'll be able to see it outdoors. It's one of the few displays that can do that. Wow, look at that blue. You see that's actually blue reflecting off of that layer. Okay. And when you look at those always-on reflective screens, transflective screens, when the light hits it, it changes to black and white, but it's actually black and blue. The background looks blue like that. So I bet you they somehow put a reflective coating in there, which should be really easy to do. So hopefully we'll see more watches, especially sports ones, geared for easy viewing outdoors. That's actually brighter in the sunlight that uses that technology. But I know, you are waiting for Mr. Tix to attack this watch. I hate to do this to the case. Ah, but I want to see what it'll do too. Ah! If Mrs. Tix ever sees this video, I am going to have H to pay for messing with her beautiful kitchen knives. Ah, come on. Ah, okay, that's enough. What do we got? Well, I've got some gouges on the side on the case. Obviously, I took the paint off, but it's aluminum underneath, it looks like. You see that? Yeah, And the glass itself, I don't think has any damage whatsoever. The only way I could tell is to give it to you in a reflected light. Yeah, there's not a nick, not a scratch, nothing. Nothing. Razor blade? Ah, I can feel it like it's gouging. It feels like it's gouging. Not even going to try to wipe it off yet. Do we see anything there? Me and I don't. How do I get it for you so that you can... Oh, there are some scratches. You see them? If I get it just right in this light, I'm seeing some scratches. Do they buff off? Oh my goodness. They look like did they come off? No, they're still there. But they're not deep. They're hairline. But yes, you can see them. So I can score the glass, and there's not a screen protector as far as I can tell on here. I can score the glass with a X-Acto knife kind thing. That can actually scratch it. I didn't think it would, but it did. That's good to know. All right. And then finally, you ever have a computer and it just doesn't behave, and the one thing you want to do is just throw that sucker through a window and watch it fly? Yeah, nah, me either, I know. But I have had fleeting thoughts. No, I haven't. No, I love my watches. I love my watches. Oh no, I got the glass out, but I didn't break it. Darn, I wanted... Okay, let's leave it partway in. And... boom! I got it out. Did I break it? No. But I certainly got it out. So it's actually glued to a ring, and the ring is glued inside, and there's the connector that goes to the layer that is for your touch. Yeah, cool. We're seeing more and more of it. One more shot. 1, 2, I can't touch it. 3. Ah, yes. It can be broken. And it is broken. And I'm all broken. Oh my gosh. I am really going to have to clean the house now. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a teardown of the TenFifteen F6. Really appreciate you watching. I got a little bit of childhood fantasy out today. Maybe help you as well, and you don't have to do it to yours. And if you like this watch, and really it is a nice watch, it really is. Check out Banggood. Check out the link. It's under $100. It's a 1 gig plus 16 gigs. It's 4G. Okay, everything is in here. It's a nice watch, and it's available right now. So thanks for watching. Thanks for your subscription, your thumbs up. We try to do diversified stuff here. This is definitely out of the norm, but the watch, it just stopped working. So we had the rare opportunity to show it to you this way. It is a traditional standard Android 7.1.1 watch with all the bells and whistles you've seen in the other reviews. Still no Bluetooth tethering on any of the Android 7.1.1 watches. Reminder for that, don't expect that you'll be able to do that. But everything else that you see on all of these watches, this one will do with that beautiful flat screen, edge-to-edge screen. Wow, that is cool, isn't it? Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you again.